Hi, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Jack. In this short video, I'm just going to run through the tracking platform Hyros, how we're using it for our clients, how you can use it for your business, and whether or not it's a good fit for what you're looking for in terms of a third-party tracking tool. So first of all, I'm going to break this video down into a few different sections. I'll put the timestamps in the description as well. It's going to be overall quite a short video, but I'm just going to go through Hyros as a platform and, like I say, how we're using it for our clients. So I'm going to talk about what it is, how it works, how we're using it, and who it's really for, so you can understand if it's something that you want to implement in your business. I'm also going to talk about the platform, the dashboard, the reporting, how it actually is of value and how you can see the different sales data, how it presents itself, and the different kind of options that are available. I'm also going to talk about how it integrates with Facebook and Google Ads, the platforms themselves, so how it actually overlays data onto those ads managers to help with decision making. I'm going to show you a couple of examples with this across a couple of different clients that we have that use the platform. And then I'm also going to talk about the pricing structure for Hyros as well. So let me jump into things. Okay, so I'm going to start off by talking about what Hyros is and who it's for. So Hyros is a third-party tracking tool. If you visit hyros.com, it's going to take you to the site and you can learn more about it. But essentially what it is a third-party tracking tool where you can track with a high degree of accuracy the calls, the sales, and the leads within your business compared to what you would typically see through the Facebook and Google Ads Manager platforms. So if you're familiar with these platforms like Facebook advertising, Google advertising, in terms of the pixel tracking, you'll be, I'm sure you've experienced the fact that they're not very accurate in terms of the numbers that are reported back. So if you're relying as an agency or as a business owner on just the numbers that are reported in your ads manager, there can be huge discrepancies depending on the attribution window that you're looking at. And a lot of sales can be dropped. So you may think that your ads are performing worse than they actually are, or you may not be able to attribute sales back to the campaigns. Now, it depends, like I say, on how you're looking at the attribution window and how important it is that you're getting 100% accurate statistics back into the platform. But in terms of a decision-making process, it helps to have as much visibility as possible, and third-party tracking tools can be essential for that. So in terms of what it actually looks like as a platform, let me jump into the dashboard now and I'll show you that. Okay, so this is the Hyros dashboard. So I've logged in here to one of our client accounts. You can see here this month from the 1st of July to the 31st of July, which is the day I'm filming this, we generated £204,000 in revenue for one of our clients, 403 tracked sales, 22,000 leads, and 0 calls, because for this client we're not tracking calls. I will show you another client where we are tracking calls in just a moment. You essentially get, this is your main sort of dashboard here, okay? So it's actually giving me notifications saying I need to upgrade my plan soon because we're maxing out in terms of the revenue tracked, which I'll dive into when I talk about the pricing. But for this specific client, we're basically maxing out their plans. We need to upgrade soon. As it's the end of the month, I'm not too concerned because the quota does reset at the beginning of next month. But here on the dashboard, you get to see a few different things. You can add different like widgets to this dashboard. So I've just got revenue, sales on the key main products that we're marketing, leads, things like that, and just calls is there by default. But you can click into all of these and you can kind of, toggle the different settings. You can exclude stuff, include stuff based on tags. And I'm not going to get too much into depth around that, but it is pretty useful. The next tab down, so you've also got dashboard, you've got reporting. This is where you can build out reports based on all of these different metrics. So just one report here that I use quite regularly is from our email marketing. So what you essentially do is you would put in a UTM tag into your email campaign links, and then it combines this with the pixel that's installed on the page, the Hyros tracking pixel, to be able to monitor who is converting off the back of your emails. You can have specific email tags, and you can have or just like more general ones. So for example, here in the filters, if I just select this month to date for this specific client, I'm going to look at it on let's say a 30-day first ad attribution window. I'm going to make sure that the source name contains the email in this example, and I'm going to click generate report. Just going to close this off. So here you can see we generated 53 grand from email marketing campaigns alone, and you can go through and you can see daily how many unique customers and unique sales have come through, and the revenue, things like that from the email campaign. So it gives you that breakdown by the day if you want to. And of course, you can actually toggle how you want this to display, whether you want it to be broken down by day, by week, things like that. And again, you can add all this sort of different information here. You can ignore different organic sources. You can add tags. There's a lot that you can do here that will really help to drill down into some of the data sources and see what's working, what isn't. So here you can see the weeks, and you can see the sales and the revenue things generated as a result of that. So I'm typically looking at it on a day-to-day basis, on a one-day click through because that ties into some of the other reporting that I'm doing on other channels and for this specific client. But you can do the same. So this is just one, like I said, that I built out for email, but you can do the exact same for ads. So for example, we can have a look at, let's say, scientific. You can put out a report here. Again, we can look at this month, let's say. We can have a look at the sources. So we can have a specific ad account. So let's just say this ad account here is fine. We can generate a report. And what it's going to do is it's going to give us a lot of the Facebook ad data. So you can see a full breakdown of the Facebook ad results here. You can see your revenue, you can see customers, you can see it broken down by day. There's a lot that you can do. You can add different columns. So it's very, very useful in terms of being able to see the different results from specific ad accounts, campaigns, with a higher degree of accuracy than what you would see in the Facebook ads platform. The next tab down here is sales data. So this is where you can actually drill into the sales. So again, if I just select this month, as that seems to be what we're looking at, I just click apply filters. You can see here we've had 710 sales total. That's not including, that is including all products, not the main product set. So for this client, we have a main product and an upsell, 12 refunds and 0 recurring sales is what's tracking there. So you've got the different piece of information here. Now, you can actually drill into each one of these sales. So for example, if I click on this sale here, which came through, you can see the original source, which was a EU Facebook campaign, and you can see the last source was an email campaign. And if I click on that lead, there's a few things we can do, and this is what I really like to look at. You can see here you've got the buyer journey, so it shows you what they clicked on, and this person clicked on multiple ads, they opted in, they've clicked on multiple emails. So it's really good to see the buyer journey essentially. You can have a look at their purchases. You can also have a look at their clicks. So this is where you can literally go through from the first click. So you can see they originated from a YouTube EU campaign, and they've clicked through and they've gone through these different pages. And that's really cool to see, because then we can actually drill down into, right, what did they click on? What helped produce a sale? And it's not always about taking action on that. It doesn't mean that every buyer journey is going to be different, but it is cool to see that, and it gives you this data. So I'm not really talking about the rights and wrongs and the strategies behind what we should and shouldn't be looking at. That's definitely for a different video. I'm more just showing you the platform and the scope of what it actually gives you, so you can make your own decisions as to what's useful and what isn't useful in terms of those metrics. You can apply tags, or tags get applied automatically. If they have multiple email addresses, like a different email that they may be purchased with, or they've maybe signed up multiple times using the same IP address but a different email, it will actually combine that, so you would see multiple email addresses, which is a really cool feature. I like that. Phone numbers if they've given it, and multiple IP addresses as well if they've got it. So you can really kind of go down and see, okay, how are people buying? What is their journey? What they're clicking on? What's working? What isn't working? And that's quite fun to see. Tracking just gives you your universal scripts, which need to be installed on the pages. And you've got some different options here in terms of tagging, creating source links, all of this kind of stuff. Settings, pretty straightforward, just how you would interact with the platform in terms of your own data, connecting accounts, tracking different domains, integrations with other platforms, like for example Google Ads, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn. So you've got quite a lot of integrations. And then if you click on easy setup, you can actually click on these and it opens up documentation on how to track and how to set up tracking accurately, which is very useful. I was new to this platform at the beginning, and it was very useful having this documentation, which is pretty easy to follow in terms of getting set up. And their support team's also really good. So big fan of this overall. Let me show you how this looks just with the call tracking very quickly. It's very straightforward, but I'll just show you that, and then I'll also jump into what this looks like on the Google and Facebook Ads Manager platforms. Okay, so when you get Hyros installed, I'm just going to show you first of all on the actual platforms how this looks. This is the same client as I was showing you before, and then I'll jump into the one that we have that's tracking calls specifically, just so you can see the difference in that. But here is on the Facebook ads platform, and this is where you can first start to use Hyros. So you can actually install a plugin, a Chrome extension, which essentially gives you Hyros overlaid onto Facebook ads. So what you do is you install it, you enter your API key, and then you can disable and enable Hyros. So I've enabled it here. You can choose your different attribution settings. So last click is going to attribute the sale of the lead to the ad that they clicked last before they opted in. Scientific is first or last, and first is obviously when they click the first click that eventually resulted in a lead. That would be first click. So you've got different attribution days here. You've got all this sort of information you can kind of toggle within the platform. When you're on the campaign level, it doesn't actually show. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to click on one of these campaigns and you have to drill into them, into the ad sets. On the Facebook ads platform itself, there's an actual Chrome extension you can install. So you install this first and you enter the API key that they give you. And this basically means you can connect the two when you're looking at your Facebook data. So you can disable it and you can enable it here. You can choose between last click, scientific, and first click in terms of the attribution mode. You can also look at the days, the date range for first click ad attribution. And you can select a couple of other different options here as well. Now, it doesn't actually show, you can see this just looks exactly like Facebook, until you go to the ad set level. So if I click on this UK campaign, and I click through here, you're going to start to see this populate. Now, this is not from the Facebook Ads Manager by default. I'm sure if you're familiar with this, you'll see that this is something different. This is the Hyros tracking basically overlaid on top. Here you can see the data, okay? So we can start to see 108 leads have been tracked. For a cost of £16 per lead, and 3 unique sales have been tracked at £579 for this specific campaign, versus what Facebook's saying, which is 140 leads. And if we look at the sales data, they're saying 4, okay? So again, similar. And Hyros is not 100% accurate either, okay? I want to make that very, very clear. You know, I'm sure if you work with a team, they will try and make it so it's 100% accurate. I've not experienced it being 100% accurate. There's definitely leads that get missed, sales that get missed. So this is not at all 100% accurate. However, it's going to have a higher degree of accuracy typically than what I'm seeing in Facebook. And that's something that is very, very useful, and same with YouTube. It's just another source of data. So again, I'm not going to get in the rights and wrongs of tracking through Facebook versus Hyros. I just want to share the tool and how it kind of works. And again, this is something that you can choose if you leverage for your business or not. But we're definitely leveraging it because it has a lot of benefit in terms of the sales there and the data. So I can click on this information here and it actually will load up a little window which will give me some of the sales data. So I can see the 3 different orders that came through here. You can click on them, and again, you can then drill into them even more. So it's really useful to see, and it's a lot of data that's available. You can also look at it on the ad level. So again, if I click down here, I click on this campaign, so it's going to load it up on the ad set level. So it's just the campaign level that it doesn't show on Facebook. On YouTube, which I'll get to, or Google Ads, which I'll get to in a second, it does show on the campaign level and not the ad group level. So it's almost like reverse. So here you can see, for example, 13 sales at 855 per sale. And if I click on the ad level again, I can expand this column out. And if I had multiple ads in here, it would show. I'm using DCT, Dynamic Creative Testing, so I do not have that. And one thing to note, if you break down by Dynamic Creative Element, that's how I break down by image and video, Hyros does not segment that out. Okay, so you don't have any visibility on that, which is a little bit annoying. But it is what it is, and that's kind of how it works. So that's it overlaid on Facebook. As you can see, and this is one of the key reasons why I prefer Hyros to Wicked Reports. I don't know if they've included this in a future kind of update, but as of right now, and as of when I was using it, there wasn't the option to have an overlaid plugin where I could see the data on Facebook ads. So I almost had to go back to the platform to have a look at the data, then go back to the ads and try and marry the two up. It was very time consuming, and I just didn't like the interface very much. Let me show you the same thing on Google. Freaking hell. Okay, so this is Hyros overlaid on the Google Ads platform. So as you can see, it's very similar. The main difference is you can actually see it at the campaign level, whereas on Facebook, you had to go into the ad set level. But you can see the different statistics here overlaid, which is very, very useful in terms of decision making. And again, you can click on this. So if you click on one of the campaigns, you go to ad groups, you unfortunately cannot see the breakdown by ad group. But the way I get around this and the way that it works is if you just click on the specific ad group, over on the left hand side, it then breaks it down via ad, and when it's broken down via ad, you can obviously see all the data there for those specific ads within an ad group, and you can see a summary at the bottom of all of the ads within the ad group as well. So it gives you a good indication there as to how well that's performing. So that works really well, and it's very, very similar to what we're seeing on Facebook. It's just obviously overlaying it onto the Google Ads platform, which looks great. So let me show you for booked calls, because it's very, very similar, but I'll share that with you and then I'll wrap up the video. Okay, so here's one of our other client campaigns. You can see here we're tracking leads and calls. So essentially within the actual Hyros little Chrome extension there, you can configure the settings. So you can choose calls, you can put here like cost per call, for example. I can turn off some of the other metrics, like I could turn off unique sales and things like that. So you've got all these different options that you can choose in terms of what data you actually want to see. So you can see in this instance, we had 4 calls at £152. which is well within the KPIs for this specific client. And you can see here we had 15 leads at £40 per lead. So it's just a good indication there. We found for this specific client, because Facebook essentially it can track the leads in an okay, again 19 or 15 is not a million miles away. The calls, however, they happen on another platform. It's booked through Calendly. The way that it pushes back the data is just not accurate at all, and the calls hardly ever get pushed back. It's very up and down in terms of the accuracy. So what we like to do is Hyros is very essential for this specific client and the way that it works with the calls. Versus, let's say, if it's just a simple lead gen campaign, you don't need to have Hyros. And obviously there's a cost to it, so you have to build that into the campaign, spend that you're executing on each month, basically. So that's how it looks with calls. I'm just going to jump finally into the pricing of Hyros, and then we're good to go. Okay, so the Hyros pricing model is based on how much revenue is tracked through their system. So you can see here it's $3,500 and for an initial 12-month period, and then you've got $3,490 for a yearly option thereafter. So you basically get a 2-month discount on that first 12 months, and that's for 0 to 40k revenue tracked. The next one here is $3,500 for an initial 6 months, and then $3,284 every 6 months, and that's for 40 to 83k tracked. This is per month. That's very important. It's monthly tracked revenue, not annual. And you can see it basically goes up here. So you've got around 4k per month for unlimited tracking, would be like their top tier model. So just depends where you're at in terms of your monthly sales figures as to what option you need. So again, this pricing might change. This is just what I was quoted at the time of signing up for the accounts that I was using. I'm sure it's likely to change from their perspective as they continue to develop the platform. It's likely to increase in cost. I'd be surprised if it doesn't over time. But look, thanks so much for taking the time to watch the video. I really hope you got value from this. Hyros is a great tool. Like I say, I prefer it over Wicked Reports just for the reason that it gives you the overlaid data on the actual ads manager platforms, which at the time I was using Wicked, it didn't have that. Again, if that's something they've added in, then I'm sure that platform will be equally beneficial. I believe it is a little bit cheaper. But I've had great results with using Hyros. Their support team's really good. And overall, it's a powerful tool that I would recommend leveraging if you're spending enough money per month. If you're just spending a couple of grand a month on ads, I certainly would not recommend it, because the price point here is just, it doesn't really equate to actually giving you that added visibility. If you're spending 50, 100, 150k a month like some of our clients are spending, I would highly recommend that you look at some of these third-party tracking tools, and Hyros would be a great recommendation for doing that. Please like and subscribe to the video. I'll be making more videos in the future. And if you want to book a call to speak with me about how we can help you scale your business, we're a marketing agency that specializes in paid media. There's a link below in the video description where you can click, book a call with me, and we can discuss exactly how to be scaling your business using the exact same strategies that I'm going to share on these videos and that we use day in, day out for our clients. Thank you very much.